Hello, welcome to the channel. I wanted to talk a little bit about how choosing yourself can be fun. It doesn't have to feel so scary. If you missed my last video on choosing yourself, go back to it and watch it and how you can get that started. Hi, I'm Jonna. Thank you for being here on this channel today. I am an author, a spiritual guide and coach, a Reiki practitioner, and I love to lead meditations and shamanic journeys to help you overcome the BS, the belief system that is in your mind that limits you or that keeps you stuck into a pattern that is otherwise unhealthy and toxic. So, what can it look like in choosing yourself to let it be more fun? When I first began to choose myself and I went out on this journey, I was married and divorced within about 14-month period. And at 30, I moved out into my first apartment ever by myself. And that was a really scary while exciting experience. So, of course, I went to find the ideal apartment. I did a lot of apartment shopping and wanted to find that space that would really make it feel like home for me as I landed leaving this somewhat traumatic experience, not somewhat, but a traumatic experience. A divorce is a traumatic experience, and especially getting married and divorced so quickly was traumatic because I barely had time to even land into the marriage before it was over. So when I moved into my apartment, I didn't know much about myself. I had to sit back and go, wow, what do I even like to do? Because here I have been molding myself and shaping myself to be somebody that my ex-husband wanted. And in the process of that, completely lost who I was. So, in choosing myself, I needed to not only make that choice to choose myself, but take small, daily, actionable steps to continue that choice, to maintain that lifestyle that I had just shifted into. And I remember watching the movie Runaway Bride with Julia Roberts. And if you haven't seen it, it's an excellent watch. But in the movie, she goes through these series of men and she's engaged but never gets married, and she runs away from every marriage at the altar and leaves every guy at the altar. That's the whole premise of the movie. Then she gets to a point in her running where she sits back and says, oh, wow, I don't even know who I am or what I want because I have shaped myself to all of these different men over my life. And so then she starts finding out what she wants and who she is and how she operates in life. And there's a scene where she makes a whole bunch of eggs to find out what her flavor of eggs is and how she likes to take her eggs. And so I watched this movie and I did that. I got up one day and said, okay, this week I'm going to make eggs a different way every morning and find out, how do I like my eggs? And also, do I prefer eggs in the morning or do I prefer it different at a different time of day, maybe with lunch or with dinner? So I did that. And after about a week or so, I came to the conclusion of the type of eggs that I liked. And I thought, oh my gosh, here I was eating two styles of eggs my whole life. One style was the style that my mother preferred, that my dad always made for my mom and us. Another style is what my ex-husband preferred, that he made for himself and us. So I didn't have this style of eggs that I liked. So once I found that and I found my style of eggs, I went, okay, how many other things, how many more things can I explore and have fun with to find what I like and what I don't like, to find what is me and what parts of me I perhaps may have lost in that relationship, or what parts of me have been wanting to come through that were suppressed in that relationship. So I began years of exploration, and still to this day, over 11 years that I've been divorced, still discovering parts of myself and things that I like and don't like. And that has gone far into the depths of even becoming sober in recent years and discovering that I don't really actually like to drink alcohol. That's just something that's programmed into our society, programmed into the meetups, programmed into the brunches and the networking events and everything in between. But I actually don't like alcohol. So I've been losing parts of myself by trying to succumb to this societal pressure and societal programming of alcohol. And sometimes that's what it is when you go about choosing yourself. It is a lifestyle choice. It is changes that you start making in your daily habits every single day to create habits that suit you, to create a lifestyle that suits you, and to help to heal and regulate your nervous system. Not only to heal it from traumatic experiences, but to keep it regulated through the changes and the phases and stages of life. And knowing that you got this. And once you get to the end of that exploration and finding that you know yourself pretty well, to where when someone says, "How do you want your eggs?" you know exactly how to respond. So I'd like to challenge you in this choice of choosing yourself and making these discovery moments. Because choosing yourself, I even mentioned it in the last video, is a challenge. It is not easy sometimes. I will not bullshit you and say it's all kumbaya and roses, because it's not. Sometimes it's really hard. It's hard to choose yourself when you may want to go do something, but you know that if you go, for me, I know that if I go and meet friends at a bar, I'm not going to feel well. Even if I don't have alcohol, I still feel this kind of residual crud of the bar, just the energy of the, couple dozen people around me drinking and getting drunk. So I know now that when my friends say, "Hey, let's meet up at this bar," my answer is, "No, I'm okay. But I'd love to see you guys later at this event, or let's go for a hike or a walk." And I make suggestions for things that I like to do that also my friends like to do that's outside of alcohol. So those are the times where it's not always that easy, and it comes with a little bit of challenge, and that challenge of the JOMO, the joy of missing out. And rather than the fear of missing out, finding the joy in missing out. So I have all the joy in the world of missing out on bar experiences. And that has solidified for me just how much I know myself, how comfortable I am with setting those boundaries and saying no, or saying next time. So I'd like to encourage you for that. What can you do this week that challenges or explores a new piece of yourself? And maybe you don't know it yet. So, but if once you find it, whether you know it already off the top of your head or you find it later, I'd love to hear it in the comments. Let us all know. What did you explore? What did you find out that you liked about yourself or new to yourself that you didn't already know? Something that you can reclaim for you. Put it in the comments below. We'd love to hear about it and share in this community of how we can each let each other grow and support each other in that growth. Thank you again for being here. And I am so looking forward to seeing what are the things and one thing that you like about yourself that you've recently discovered after leaving some level of a toxic environment. Until next time.